The room wasn't spinning, but my heart was. He walked in like he owned the world, not in a cocky way, but with that quiet kind of confidence that made people lean in instead of look away. His name was Adon Carter, my best friend's older brother. Off limits since I was 16 and stupid enough to write his name in my diary with hearts. I hadn't seen him in 3 years. The last time, he'd just graduated, already too old, too cool, too far out of reach. But now, he was standing in my apartment doorway like a mistake I was about to make. "Didn't think I'd see you here," I said, trying to play it chill, even though my pulse was hammering. He smirked. "Didn't think you'd still call this showbox home." I wanted to roll my eyes, but instead I smiled, the kind of smile you give someone who knows your past and could easily become your future if you weren't so damn careful. The reason for his sudden reappearance was simple. His sister, Claire, my best friend and roommate, had just gotten engaged. Adon had flown in from New York for the party. That meant for days under one roof. "I've missed this place," he said, dropping his duffel by the couch like he belonged here, like he wasn't the forbidden fruit I'd tried so hard to forget. The next few hours blurred. Champagne, laughter, Claire gushing about her fiancé, and Adon beside me, always too close. His voice had changed, deeper, rougher, or maybe I was just hearing him differently now. At midnight, after the last guest left, Adon lingered in the kitchen while I cleaned up. "You always clean when you're nervous," he said. I froze, wine glass in hand. "I'm not nervous." He stepped closer. "Then why won't you look at me?" I turned, and there it was. The moment that ruined everything. His eyes met mine, and I remembered everything I had tried to forget. The way he used to tease me. The way he once caught me crying after a breakup and didn't tell Claire. The way he made me feel seen in a way no one else ever had. "You shouldn't," I whispered. "Shouldn't what?" he asked, stepping close enough that I could smell him. "Citrus and sin. Look at me like that." He paused, just for a second. Too late. He kissed me. It wasn't soft. It wasn't slow. It was every unspoken word from the last 3 years crashing into one stupid, beautiful mistake. When we pulled apart, breathless, I stared at him like he was both the question and the answer. Then Claire's voice rang from her bedroom, and we jumped apart like teenagers caught in the act. "I should go," he said, voice low, eyes still on my lips. "Yeah," I breathed. "You should." But as he walked away, I knew I was already in trouble, because one kiss had made me forget every reason he was off limits. And tomorrow, I'd have to face him again. The next morning, I woke up before anyone else and wished I hadn't. My lips still tingled. My mind still looped that kiss like a broken reel, and every time I blinked, I saw Adon's face closer than it ever should have been. I thought maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he'd say it was the champagne. Maybe he'd pretend it never happened. But when I stepped into the kitchen and saw him already there, shirt off, mug in hand, like this was his home and not my chaos, my heart knew better. "Morning," he said, like he hadn't kissed me last night, like he meant it. I stood there, speechless, until I remembered I was a grown woman and not some lovesick teenager. "You slept okay?" I asked, brushing past him toward the fridge. His voice dropped. Did you? I couldn't answer. Not honestly, not with Claire humming in the hallway, headed straight toward us. We exchanged one sharp look before she appeared, still in pajamas, grinning. Coffee, she chirped, kissing her brother's cheek. I sipped from my mug like nothing had happened, but everything had. And it was about to get worse, because that afternoon, Claire sat me down and said the words I wasn't ready for. I want you to be my maid of honor. Of course, I smiled, hugging her tight. But inside, I was screaming, because now Adon wasn't just a house guest. He was part of the wedding planning, the group chats, the weekend trips, the endless family moments that I was now wedged into. That night, I found him alone on the balcony, beer in hand, eyes on the skyline. You okay? I asked. He didn't look at me. Should have stayed in New York. My heart sank. Because of what happened. His jaw clenched. Because it's not fair. To her? I asked, knowing the answer. To any of us. I moved beside him, afraid to touch, afraid not to. So, what now? We pretend it didn't happen. His voice was low. Do you want to pretend? My silence said it all. He turned to face me, eyes blazing with something that wasn't guilt. It was want, raw and real. But then his phone buzzed. He looked down. It's her fiancé. I stepped back. Right. Because we're playing family now. He didn't answer. Instead, he walked away. I didn't follow. The guilt. It was already clawing at me. Not because we kissed, but because I wasn't sorry, and I couldn't tell Claire the truth. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But secrets have a shelf life, and mine had just started ticking. I tried to stay away. God knows I tried. But Adon had this way of being everywhere. In the hallway when I stepped out in a towel. On the couch when I came home from a late shift. In my head when I was supposed to be thinking about anything else. Days had passed since the kiss. 2 days of pretending. 2 days of me failing every time I looked at him and forgot to blink. Then came the bachelorette planning dinner. Claire insisted on making it a double night. Her fiancé, Adon, and me. A family night, she called it. I nearly choked. We met at this rooftop bar. Candles flickering, wine flowing. The city below us like a secret none of us could tell. Claire laughed loud, tipsy off her second glass. Her fiancé talked about wedding venues. And Adon, he kept looking at me when he thought no one else noticed. But I noticed every time. When Claire got up to take a selfie with the skyline, Adon leaned in close, voice low. You look wrecked. I feel worse, I whispered. He smirked. That crooked thing that once made my knees weak. Still pretending. I sipped my wine to keep from answering. But I knew he wasn't done. Meet me outside in 10, he said, brushing his fingers lightly across mine under the table. It felt like a dare. And I was too far gone not to take it. 10 minutes later, I stepped out back into the alley behind the restaurant. He was already waiting, lit by the soft neon from the kitchen sign above. It was private, quiet, too tempting. I'm not proud of this, I said before he could speak. I'm not asking you to be, he said. I just need to know if it meant something. I looked up at him, heart thundering. Of course it did. He stepped closer, hands grazing my arms. Then stop acting like we imagined it. And then he kissed me again. This one was slower, deeper. No panic, just pain, just want, just two people sinking into something they couldn't admit in daylight. Tell me to stop, he whispered into my mouth. I didn't. I couldn't. But just as his hands tangled in my hair, we heard it, Claire's voice. Adon, we froze. Her heels echoed closer. Panic, fire, guilt. I shoved him away and turned, wiping my lips like a criminal. Claire came around the corner, phone in hand. There you are. I've been looking for you guys. What are you? Just kidding. Some air, I blurted. It was loud inside. She looked between us, eyes narrowing. Everything okay? I nodded too quickly. Yeah, just needed a breather. Adon stuffed his hands in his pockets, gaze hard. We're good. Claire smiled, clearly tipsy and unaware. Come back. They brought out dessert. We followed her inside. But the damage, it had already been done. We hadn't been caught, not really. But we'd been close to close. And as I sat beside her, watching her laugh like her world was perfect, all I could feel was the weight of the lie growing heavier in my chest. Because the next kiss might not be in the dark. And next time, we might not be so lucky. I didn't sleep that night. Not because of guilt, I'd been swimming in that for days. But because of what was coming. I could feel it, like static before a storm. The kiss was still fresh. Her voice still echoed. Adon's lips had barely left mine when Claire walked into that alley. We hadn't been caught. But something had shifted. And in the days that followed, she changed. Claire didn't say anything, but she started watching me closer, asking offhand questions like, "You good?" or "You've been quiet lately." I kept brushing it off, smiling too much, talking too fast. And Adon, he acted like nothing had happened, like he hadn't branded me with his kiss, like he wasn't on the edge of ruining his sister's trust. Maybe that's what pissed me off the most, that he could compartmentalize it, lock it up, walk away. But I couldn't, because last night, when I touched my lips in the mirror, I wasn't thinking about guilt. I was thinking about him again. So I made a mistake. I sent him a message, just for words. We need to talk. He didn't reply. The next day, he was gone. Packed. Vanished. Claire said he had last-minute work stuff and had to fly back early. She didn't seem surprised. But I was. Because I knew the truth. He ran. And for the first time since the kiss, I felt cold. Like I'd been holding a flame that suddenly died in my hands. 3 days passed. No texts, no calls. Then Claire came into my room. Eyes sharp, voice calm, too calm. "Why didn't you tell me?" I froze. "Tell you what?" She dropped her phone on my bed. The screen still lit. A photo. Me and Adon. In the alley. Lips pressed, arms wrapped. Fire caught mid-burn. Taken from the restaurant's back camera. Probably pulled by the manager when Claire asked for the group shots from the party. "I didn't want to believe it," she said quietly. "But then I saw how you looked at him. How he looked at you." My throat closed. "Claire, how long?" she asked. No scream, no slap, just the kind of calm that cuts deeper. I swallowed. It was one kiss too. It wasn't planned. She stared at me like I was a stranger. Wasn't planned. It just happened. I didn't mean to. "But you did," she snapped. You let it. You let it happen. And then you lied. Every damn day. Tears burned in my eyes. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you. You already did, she whispered. You think this is just about Adon. You're my best friend. You were my safe place. I still am, I whispered. She laughed bitterly. No, you're the place the betrayal came from. She grabbed her keys. I need air. Don't be here when I get back. And just like that, I was undone. By a photo. By a kiss. By a man who ran away the second things got real. I sat in the silence of our apartment and tried to tell myself this would blow over, that she'd forgive me, that it was just a moment, not a war. But I knew better, because some mistakes leave fingerprints on everything you touch, and mine had just cost me everything. 2 weeks. That's how long it took for silence to swallow everything. Claire moved out without another word. No screaming, no closure. Just an empty closet and a key left on the counter. I didn't beg. Not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't think I had the right. I let myself fall for someone I shouldn't have. And worse, I kept falling. Every morning, I checked my phone like an idiot. Still no message. Still no aid on the irony. The kiss wasn't the betrayal. It was what followed. The silence. The abandonment. The choice to vanish when things got real. One night, I got drunk enough to scroll through old photos of the three of us. Parties. Birthdays. Sleepovers. 1,000 moments that felt innocent until I saw the one where Adon was looking at me, not the camera. He'd always looked at me like that. I just hadn't let myself believe it until it was too late. And then came the knock. Not a text, not a call, a knock. After 2 weeks of nothing, I opened the door. There he was. Adon. Same eyes. Same scent, same heartbreak. He didn't wait for an invitation. He stepped inside like he had something to prove. I know you hate me, he said. I folded my arms. That's generous. I wish I hated you. He sighed. I wasn't running from you. I was running from what I felt. And from Claire. I didn't know how to face either of you. You didn't even try. I know, he said, voice thick. But I'm here now. I stared at him, every bone in my body aching. You broke both of us. I didn't mean to, but you did, I whispered. And now Claire won't even look at me. I lost her. You made me lose her. No, he said softly. I did that. Not you. His voice cracked. I called her. I told her everything. I told her I kissed you first, that I pursued you. I blinked. You what? I didn't want her to blame you. I made the move. I crossed the line. You tried to walk away. I sat down, breath catching. What did she say? She said, she's not ready. But she'll come around one day. Maybe. And us? I asked. Are we anything? Or was this just a mistake you needed to own? He crossed the room, knelt in front of me. I didn't come here for forgiveness. I came because I can't stop thinking about you. Because I miss you. And because even if I never see Claire again, I had to know if there's still a chance with you. My throat burned. You want a chance now? I want you, he said, voice low and honest, fully. Not in secret, not in silence. I should have pushed him away, but I didn't. I touched his face. The same one I dreamed about for nights. I hate that I still love you, I whispered. He closed his eyes. I'll take that over goodbye. And then, for the last time more, maybe the first real time I kissed him. No lies. No guilt. Just us. And as our lips met, I knew this wasn't the ending. It was the beginning. One forged in fire. Yes, but sometimes love survives the burn.